Good evening and welcome to Estuary TV News with me, James Dunn. On tonight's show, a campaign to stop skint coming to Grimsby gathers steam. And we speak to people on the street about what they think the programme would do for the area's reputation. But first, here's Erica Barker with the news headlines.
Hello, the headlines today. The Able Marine Energy Park gets a £15 million investment and penguins make their way to the deep in Hull. The government has granted the Able Marine Energy Park £15 million, which is expected to help create 4,000 jobs in North Lincolnshire. The money from the Enterprise Zone Capital Grant Fund will help with the infrastructure work of the first phase, which is set to be completed by March next year. It's thought the project is a critical part of plans to grow the Humber as the UK's energy estuary.
The Able Marine Energy Park will literally transform the economy of the whole of the Yorkshire and Humber region. It is quite literally a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and will create the biggest offshore wind park in Europe. It will create a brand new industry into the Humber, but more importantly as well, it will also support existing manufacturing.
A group of residents have come together to fight against Channel 4 test filming for a second series of the documentary Skint in Grimsby. Last year, the first series, which includes people who are long-term unemployed and those struggling to get a foot on the career ladder, was filmed in Scunthorpe. Joe Gray, together with Sarah Palmer and Simon Cross, have sent out over 100 emails in an attempt to stir up support, urging people to make their views known.
We've sort of got together and talked about, how we might sort of raise our concerns about this and well, more than concerns really, say that we're very, very unhappy about Grimsby being used in this way. And so we've started a bit of an email campaign and we're sort of working together to try and sort of challenge Channel 4 and Keo Films about what they're doing and to make them sort of consider the long-term repercussions and consequences that this kind of documentary can have on a town like ours.
A Bransholme man has been charged with the murder of Keith Estuary, who was found stabbed to death at his home on the estate. A 40-year-old man has appeared at Hull Magistrates Court. A 39-year-old man who was also arrested by police on suspicion of murder has been released on bail. The identity of a man who had been sleeping rough in Cleethorpes has been established by police after a nationwide appeal. After a relative contacted Humberside Police, the man, who had referred to himself as David Thorpe, is from South Yorkshire. £2 million has been set aside to repair flood-damaged areas in the East Riding. The council has allocated the money in the wake of the tidal surge and recent bad weather. Urgent repairs will be carried out in the most badly affected areas. And the newest exhibit at the world's only submarium in Hull has been developed for a much cheaper price as a result of using local businesses. That's according to the Deep's Chief Executive, Colin Brown. A colony of Gen 2 penguins will be unveiled to the world next week in a newly built habitat costing around £600,000. Visitors flocking to see the penguins will help to raise funds for the attraction's new conservation initiative, which will see research work conducted in the wild to help protect endangered penguins.
It's very important to us that we support local businesses, particularly at a time like this, and so wherever possible we've done that. It was a local architect helps us with the design, local builders. We've had a local company do all the fiberglassing for us. Local company made the tank for us. So wherever possible, we've used local people. I think one of the other things is that a lot of the theming and the plumbing and that sort of work has actually been done by our own staff. So that's how we've managed to produce something which is probably a £1.5 million attraction.
The valuable welfare work carried out in the seafaring community is the focus of a conference in Hull today. The Seafarers UK reception has been organised by Hull's Maritime Historical Studies Centre. And the Beverleys Treasure House has been inundated following an appeal for First World War artefacts for an exhibition. Items received so far include medals, photographs, service documents and a leather water bottle. The exhibition opens in July and will focus on the role of the local regiment in the Egypt-Palestine campaign between 1915 and 1918. And that's all from me. Until next time.
Thanks, Erica. Last year, Skint made headlines as a bleak look at Benefit Britain. Set in Scunthorpe's Westcliff estate, it painted a picture of deprivation, substance misuse, worklessness and crime that any community would be ashamed of. So when rumours that the producers are filming the next series here in Grimsby were confirmed, local residents started to voice opposition. Erica Barker went to speak to some people who don't want to see their beloved town on TV for all the wrong reasons.
The Nunsthorpe estate in Grimsby seems to be at the centre of some controversy as Keo Films and Channel 4 confirm they are test filming in the area for a second series of the television programme Skint, a documentary including those who are long-term unemployed or have never had a job. Oasis Academy Nunsthorpe is one school that tells us they are against it, after Scunthorpe, where the first series of Skint was filmed, hit the headlines last year. Principal Mark Gillian thinks it could only do harm.
Most of our families are very hard-working families. The word skint, which obviously implies financial poverty, some of them do have financial challenges in their lives, but they are far from skint. Their lives are rich, they are hard-working, they want to do the very best both for themselves and their children, and they're working very closely with us to achieve not just their hopes and aspirations, but also the aspirations of the next generation, their children.
But not everyone opposes Skint filming in Grimsby. Ken and Kath Homewood run Grimsby Food Kitchen, providing hot meals for around 80 people a week. They say camera crews have visited them on several occasions.
If the truth is told and the good is mixed in with other events, then it should lead to a good programme. It picks up the faults that need to be shown so that they can be sorted out.
But an online petition aiming to put a stop to filming has gained over 600 signatures, and 3 residents, including Joe Gray, are heading a campaign to urge others to take a stand. They've sent over 100 emails asking people to make their views known to MPs and the TV company.
I think we already live in a very divided society. I think that the government rhetoric of recent times, this sort of strivers versus skivers agenda that's been peddled by the Tory party in particular, is very damaging. You know, we want people in Grimsby to live and work together harmoniously, to work together to make it a better place for people to live. And we want to encourage investment, we want to encourage businesses to come here, we want to encourage jobs, and we want to see the town make progress. As uncertainty looms over whether a programme filmed in Grimsby will get the go-ahead and make it to our television screens, it seems this debate is set to continue. Erica Barker, Estuary TV.
Thanks, Erica. The campaign against this programme is now gathering some steam. More than 750 people have now signed an online petition to stop the heavily edited shows depicting the worst that Grimsby has to offer. So Emma Turner hit the streets of Grimsby to find out what ordinary people thought of the show being made here.
We're not still great, but I don't think Skint coming here is going to do any good for the area at all. I think it probably put it into the like it did with Scunthorpe. So I feel that it should keep away from the area. Yes, definitely. Yes, we need improvement, but that's not going to help it.
Well, they're making it sound as though the place is in a rack and ruin. It's not. I mean, all this work that's going on at the moment, that's supposed to be progress. But no, I don't think they should do that. It's an insult to the town.
From what it was like years ago when I was a kid, it's changed dramatically. All the fun and enjoyment kids used to get years ago no longer happens. There's just nothing at all here.
Well, because it's not too bad here, is it really, compared to other places, I think?
Cleethorpes is nearly non-existent anymore. Wonderland, there's nothing. So, do you know what I mean? What is there for people to come, to get more people in, so that basically they're going to spend more?
Don't know, I'm not really bothered if they come or not. It doesn't affect us.
No.
Just shows people what kind of town we live in.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to give Grimsby a bad name at the end of the day, isn't it? I mean, I know enough goes on in Grimsby, but with that coming, it'll just make it worse, won't it, really? So.
I've been here for nearly 3 years. It's a lovely town, but I prefer big city anyway.
More jobs.
Yeah, more job vacancies and things like
Yeah,
that.
because it is looking for a job, and we've been looking for about 6 months now. Just can't get one.
I mean, I see youngsters cutting around, but I think it's just self-inflicted. If they don't want to work, they don't want to work. I mean, when I left school, I just got a job straight away working in the factory. It's not hard. Sometimes it's an excuse that I can't work because there's no work, but there is.
And my guests today are Kerry Jeffrey and Ros Webber-Jones from charity Reg's Dream, which was set up in memory of Kerry's daughter Rihanna, who sadly died in 2010. The charity aims to help working families with terminally ill children. Thank you very much, both of you, for coming in. So tell me a little bit about your daughter, Kerry. Sadly, she passed away in 2010, is that right?
That's right, yeah. She'd had 2 rare life-threatening illnesses that required a bone marrow transplant. She developed complications afterwards, and sadly, unexpectedly, we lost her at Sheffield.
And that was a shock to you?
A big shock, yes. We thought we'd got through the worst with the transplant, but unexpectedly to everybody, we lost her.
And now, you've set up your charity because of, whether directly or not, problems that you encountered and that you noticed when you were going through this really turbulent time. Your charity aims to help working families.
That's right.
Why is that?
We found during our experience, which was just under 2.5 years, that all the specialist treatment that we needed was in Sheffield. And being in Louth, obviously you have to travel, and it was just expense for car park, petrol.
You're doing that how many times a week?
Sometimes towards getting to the transplant stage, we were going 3 or 4 times a week.
Which is expensive.
Very expensive. Sometimes we'd only go for a 10-minute appointment, but all the same, it had to be done in Sheffield. So we tried everywhere to get financial help, but everything came as a barrier because we were both working parents.
And obviously you're a nurse in a children's ward. So the final straw, I mean, I believe you noticed when Rihanna did pass, you asked if there was any kind of bereavement grant available.
Yes, I phoned the DLA up to obviously inform them of her passing and said, was there any support, help, grants we could get to help with the cost of a funeral? And she said she'd go through a questionnaire with me, started the questions. Do you or your partner work? Yes, sorry, can't help you.
That was the end of it.
And that was the end of that.
So this is what gave you the idea, really. So tell me about the help that your charity does offer.
What we offer is just financial support. It's a one-off application where the families apply to us. They have to meet certain criteria, which is that they are a working family, that they're not on any benefits other than the disability allowance, that they have that they live in Lincolnshire, which is our big main thing at the moment, and that they have a child that has a life-threatening or a life-limiting illness.
And if they meet that criteria, what can you do?
Then we just get verification that they are employed, and then we give them a cheque, which at the moment is for £300. It's just gone up to £300.
And the money can be from birth to 18.
That's the age group that we
for anything that they need.
Yeah.
So that could be transport costs.
There's no restriction. If they wanted to go on a couple of days holiday, they can do that. If they wanted a piece of equipment, they can use it for that. We're not bothered. It's just our way of helping other people that are sadly going through a difficult time.
Well, thank you. It's a lovely story, and it's good to know that some help like that is available out there for people. Thank you very much for both coming in today. Now, don't forget that if you know of any local stories or issues, get in touch by phone on Grimsby 315561, on Facebook or Twitter at Estuary TV, or email us on news@estuary.tv. That's all from us tonight. Thank you. Bye.